mamela iqonga lakho.
I'm asked to talk about why we decided to support the taverns and the township hangout spots in PE. Some call it the township economy. But I want to take a moment and just reflect that it sounds nice and fancy to call it the township economy. But what is the township? My memories of the township, it's a place where our parents and our grandparents were banished to die far from resources, far from opportunities. They were packed like sardines in trucks, and they were asked sometimes at night to quickly pack. Because of Group Areas Act, they must leave Costin, and go to these different places where they are separated from their friends and their loved ones. This place became what we call civil towns, or forums, or Vezinyawo, as they are called today. I remember very well when Motherwell was built, my father was asked by Ayohlula part because the way they were built, they were not built for human beings to stay in these places. They built houses as Fanayo. Just imagine. All these houses or forums. If it's a silver town, a silver, they are all the same. To an extent that they even built beer halls that look the same. The beer hall in Matomela Street, the beer hall in Kulat, the beer hall in Elalene. Wherever you went, everything built for this township was the same structure. It was not a mistake because the architects of apartheid knew that they needed to destroy the brain and the mind of an African so that we don't dream amaphupho ethu afane because sikhulisa kwizindlu ezifanayo. Phuma next door is the same forums. Ngena ngapha is the same loaf of bread yendlu, toilet kwindawo eyi-1, yonke kwindawo eyi-1. Children grow up in these places. Even the way they built our schools, they were the same architecture and design to break the way we think so that we think and know no better. These were places that were meant so that we die in these places. They built graveyards and gravesites closer to these communities. Our people became victims of tuberculosis, victims of cholera and malaria because facilities were just nowhere. I remember as a youngster when I first saw a suburb, I saw Algoa Park for the first time. My mother worked at Darcy as a domestic worker. Wow! Beautiful houses, beautiful lawns, yards, different architectures, different designs. Those children could think and dream because Bakula Gwinda, where their mind is prepared to be better in life. So when we talk about a township economy, don't talk about a place that you think that we're talking about how we as Christians talk about going to heaven with pearly gates. It was a place where we were meant to die and never grow. But what did our forefathers do? They modified these homes. They made a stoop, and they looked after it. They decided that they need bread, and they started creating economies and hubs where they supported each other through trade. They even built so that when the guy comes back from work, he has an option of not going into that beer hall, Ayo Sela Uhluk, which was designed so that it destroys the black person. Remember what Verwoerd said? We'll make them a cheap beer so that they drink themselves to perpetual destruction. And so that there's music, there's entertainment, because these are human beings. And this place, because of the resilience of our people, gave us John Kani, gave us Lulu Konsana, gave us Patrick Pacha, they gave us Mklenges, they gave us Kolotuze, they gave us Kustajek, they gave us Ngabafaku. They knew that they were not banished in the townships. Lulu Konsama became one of the best people who about drums in the world. So when we come as this generation of entrepreneurs, we've got to do this thing in that context. that we've got to support each other because the struggle continues. You can't say when you have, like us, blessed with an opportunity to run events all over the country, we do all these wonderful things and never think about supporting home. My point was, why should a person as Wide have to go to Radisson Hotel just to get quality business discussion? Why? Why should a person go that far just to meet a head of Standard Bank? Abambu Kerisandla, ati Mr. Maxine, you are the head of Standard Bank. I look up to you, sir. Because at some stage you will depart like Lunga did. But the question is, what legacy are we leaving? So we've got to be the ones who build that legacy. When you go to Grey up the road here, you see that school beautifully fenced. Each section of the fencing portions got a name of a former student of that school. And they keep on investing to their people, to their arts, so that they themselves can tell their stories. They even fought that DSTV gives them an Afrikaans channel. No chup, and all these funny things that don't build society. Look at the stories that you write. Drugs, ubugqwirha, nothing that builds society. And I tell them at home in protest, I will never watch that rubbish. It's what Hugh Masekela used to contest that was called Bantu TV. Onolije, Osdudla Umpanda. Things that were designed for us. Some helped to build community. Some never helped us to think because we're supposed to be kwezi zindlu zifanayo, izikolo ezifanayo, kude kwakhiwe neklinik ezifanayo. The only thing we have is this thing. The only way we can use it, it is to start supporting each other. Abelungu ke nxa nihlala phansi, they do it simply. They take their companies because they've got marketing budgets. Aye umntu ayo support initiative nabantu abamnyama as a company expense. Because at the end of the day, zonke companies have budget. The reason we do these things and support artists and pay all these things, it's not about us. It's about those who've lived before us so that townships do not become a place of banishment for black people. So ukuya kwethu ke kwaLunga, kwaNgqoko, eKupholeni, kwaBarbara, in Udenek, eMdantsane, bringing conversations in townships, mixing business conversations with jazz in these places. And I remember, because I come from a strong Christian background, people are saying, "Upromota utshwala Mfuleni." And I said, taverns are not what you think they are. You must listen one day, the stories of a barman. The barman will tell you that, you know, sometimes I'm a doctor. Sometimes the psychologist, family problems. Sometimes the financial planner, financial problems. These are places where people go to have a conversation and let out the things that eat them inside and go home relieved, akana stress, akenzi GBV, upholile, uthanda bantwana, because he had a decent conversation in a decent place like it was, or it's been, at Lunga's place. So the best memory we can do to celebrate this great gentleman in Lunga, it is to support African initiatives. And our companies are best positioned to do that. Enjoy the afternoon. Thank you.